Hi everybody, Miss G here for our painting class. Today I'm going to be going over, finally, our oil paint, our paint palettes, and introduce those to you. So, you all should have picked up your paint palette. It looks like this. There's a piece of wax paper down, and then you will see lots of different colors. Some may look really close. You may ask why we have multiple of each color. I'm going to go over that here with you today. We have here in front of us 9 different shades of oil paint, different colors, and different hues. So we have 2 reds, 2 blues, 3 yellows, a white, and a brown. So going into the reds, the first red, this one right here, the darker one, that is called alizarin crimson. The brighter red next to it is cadmium red. Then for the blues, we have phthalo blue here on the left, and French ultramarine, which is on the outside. The 3 yellows are yellow ochre, which is the dark kind of Dijon mustard color. The middle, which is more of a regular mustard, is cadmium yellow. And then the bright yellow is easy to remember, it's lemon yellow. Then we of course have white, it is titanium white. And then lastly, our dark brown, that is burnt umber. So you may be asking yourself, why do we have 2 reds, 2 blues, 3 yellows, in all these different shades? So these colors here are straight from our paint color tubes, and they're called pigments. So a pigment is a color, a dye that comes in pure form, and that is then made into paint, and then we use those pigments and mix them in different proportions and ratios to create all the colors in the color wheel. So each of these different colors is a pigment and falls in a different place on the color wheel, and we'll use certain ones to mix others. Just for a quick example, we have a dark purpley red, alizarin crimson, and then we have a bright red, which is more orange. So depending on the color that we're mixing, we may need to use the purpley red, so it's more purple, or the cadmium red to make a brighter, more orangey red. So I'm going to go in right now and talk about where these colors lay on a color wheel. Ta-da! Here is our color wheel. We've all seen it before, but now I'm going to go over it a little bit more in depth and where these colors for paint class are going to come in handy for mixing colors. The first is alizarin crimson. Alizarin crimson is our deep dark maroon red. It's cranberry red, so it leans more towards the purple. So it would lay here on the color wheel. Notice how red next to it is in between purple and orange. Alizarin crimson is red, but is more purpley in color. Our next red is cadmium red. Cadmium red is the bright red on your palette. It's fire truck red, very close to our primary red, but leans more towards orange. Moving to the yellow. Yellow ochre is a deep gold Dijon mustard color. Along with cadmium yellow, both lean more towards the orange. The only difference with yellow ochre being more gold and deep in saturation. Lemon yellow is the brightest yellow on the palette. It's easy to remember, and it is pure bright yellow like here on the color wheel. Lastly, going into the blues, first we have phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is a teal sort of blue, which leans more towards green. You may see it as a turquoise. And lastly, we have French ultramarine. It's easy to remember. It's a deep navy blue. So if you think of a military blue like a navy, it is the deep dark blue that we see here on the color wheel and leans more towards purple. We have two other colors in our palette, titanium white and burnt umber. Those are going to be used as white, and the burnt umber will be used sort of as our black and will be used to make colors lighter or darker, so they are not represented here on a saturated color wheel like this. To visualize how we'll be using the white and the burnt umber, if we look here in the middle, these are our mid-tone colors, meaning they are pure color right in the middle between light and dark. To make them lighter, we are going to be using the white to add to it to make it lighter, and then we'll be using burnt umber to make it darker instead of using black. In class, we will be using this crystal color wheel as reference for all of our color mixing. And to begin our painting class with our oil paint, you guys are going to be using your own color wheel, making your own color wheel to practice making these different colors, and also practice making colors lighter and making colors darker so we can achieve a full value scale, which will make our paintings and the objects in our paintings look three-dimensional. So the color wheel will look like this, and that is what we will be moving on to start. So thanks for listening, and I can't wait to practice that with you. Happy painting!